Hello everyone, I'm Teacher Grace. Welcome back to our Toeic grammar series. In today's lesson, we'll learn about relative pronouns, relative adverbs, and relative clauses. These grammar points are often tested in the Toeic exam and will also make your sentences more advanced and fluent. Let's get started.
I often see sentences with who, which, or that. They look confusing. What are they?
Great question, Anna. Those words are called relative pronouns. They work as both a pronoun and a connector, which gives more details or extra information about the noun that comes before it.
Oh, so they help make sentences longer and clearer?
Exactly. And today, we'll learn the most common ones, like who, which, that, and whose. Ready to start?
Yes. Let's go.
Today, we're going to learn about relative pronouns. They help us connect ideas and add more information about people, things, or places. Let's look at the most common ones. First, we have who. We use who to talk about people, either as the subject or the object. For example, the woman who is speaking is my teacher. Next is whom. Whom also refers to people, but it's more formal and usually used as the object. For example, the person whom you met yesterday is my boss. In everyday English, people often just use who instead. Then we have which. We use which for things or animals. For example, the laptop which I bought last week is very fast. Another very common one is that. That can be used for both people and things. It often replaces who or which. For example, the book that I borrowed is interesting. Finally, we have whose. Whose shows possession, and it can be used for both people and things. For example, the student whose phone is ringing should answer it. Next, we're going to learn about relative adverbs. These words connect two ideas in a sentence and give us more information about a place, a time, or a reason. Let's look at the three most common ones. First we have where. We use where to talk about a place. For example, this is the restaurant where we had dinner yesterday. It means the same as the restaurant at which we had dinner. Next we have when. We use when to talk about a time. For example, I'll never forget the day when I first met you. This is the same as saying the day on which I first met you. Finally, we have why. We use why to explain a reason. For example, do you know the reason why she is upset? This is the same as saying the reason for which she is upset. A relative clause is a clause that describes a noun. It gives us more information. They are introduced by relative pronouns such as who, which, that, whose, or relative adverbs such as where, when, why. Examples: the man who is standing over there is my teacher. But here's something important: in some cases, we can omit the relative pronoun. When the relative pronoun is the object of the relative clause, it can be omitted. Example: the book I borrowed yesterday is interesting. But when the relative pronoun is the subject of the relative clause, it cannot be omitted. A defining relative clause gives us essential information about a noun. It tells us exactly which person or thing we are talking about. Without this information, the sentence would be incomplete or unclear. For example, the man who is talking to the manager is our new colleague. Here, the clause who is talking to the manager is important, because it tells us which man we mean. Without it, you wouldn't know which man I am talking about. So remember, in defining relative clauses, the information is necessary, and we don't use commas to separate the clause. A non-defining relative clause gives us extra information about a noun. This information is not necessary to understand the main meaning of the sentence, it's just additional detail. For example, my brother, who lives in Canada, is coming to visit me. Here, the main idea is my brother is coming to visit me. The part who lives in Canada is just extra information. Even if we remove it, the sentence is still complete and clear. One important thing to remember is that non-defining relative clauses are separated by commas. Now let's test your understanding. Try these.